Well, this is definitely my favorite time of the day. It's kind of cloudy out. It's always kind of like this in June. It's called June gloom in California. But these are some of my dahlias. They're just stunning. I just love these cactus dahlias. So I just wanted to take you around and show you how everything is growing. Everything is growing like weeds. And I'm going to be picking beans probably in the next week or two. So let me show you what I've got. So these are my little pickling cucumbers. And I've got tons of these. I only planted a few seeds, but oh my gosh, they've really taken off. And then I've got some, you saw the dahlias. I've got some butternut and some spaghetti squash that's growing up this trellis. Looking really good. I've got a lot of little buds, but not a lot of fruit yet. But that's okay. I've got some flowers and I see tons of bees. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now my beans are very close to being picked. As you can see, we're getting beans all over these bushes. So I'm just keeping an eye on them every day. They're still kind of small for picking, but we're going to have a ton of them. So I will start picking these just as soon as they're ready. And then I've got some additional sugar pie pumpkins growing over here up this little trellis. I actually put one of them in a nylon just to kind of support it a little bit. I've got my tomatillos, which are just going crazy. I've only got 2 plants and I've probably got a couple hundred tomatillos growing. They're just all over the place. And then I've got tomatoes. They're all green, but I have tons of them. My tomato harvest is going to be really good this year. Lots and lots and lots of tomatoes growing. There's a little bee pollinating oh, there's 2 bees in there. Actually, those are hornets, so I'm going to skedoodle away from them. And then I've got more tomatoes growing up this trellis here. And again, more sugar pie pumpkins. I've got a lot of pumpkins growing. And then over here, I've got my peppers, which are, again, I've got some onions planted in, but look at these, more dahlias. I've got more tomatoes. You can just see how many I have growing on these vines. And peppers, these are my Adjavarsky peppers. I've got some growing, I've got some growing right here. I don't know if you can see that. And then I've got the Jimmy Nardellos, which are growing right here. So it looks like I've already got quite a few peppers. They're starting to grow. And over here, I've got a little bit more of my chamomile and more tomatoes. Look at some of these. They're just beautiful. Look at these. I think these are the early girls. I keep waiting for them to turn color. Lots and lots and lots of tomatoes. Then I've got some onions. These are the Katy onions that I'm growing down here all along the bottom of my planter. It's so big. I just can't believe how big this plant is. I'll have to look and see which one it is. Oh, it's a brandywine. Okay. Because the leaves are really big on it. It's really an unusual tomato plant. I guess I haven't planted brandywine before. I've got a lot of little yellow buds, but I don't really see any tomatoes yet. But that's supposed to be a really nice tomato. Wow, it's a big one. Again, more cucumbers. They're doing really good. Lots of little baby cucumbers. They're everywhere. And I'm glad because I wanted to do pickles this year. And then a couple more tomato plants over here. My little pig. And my rhubarb I just cut like 2 weeks ago, and it's already like, it's already growing again. And I've got more tomatoes over here. I planted a lot of tomatoes. There's my Thai basil. It started coming up, and it's really beautiful. I've got some radishes and cilantro. And again, more tomatoes. And then over here, I've actually got some acorn squash. I've never grown acorn squash before, but I decided this year I was going to try to give it a try. So I got a few growing on that vine. And over here, I have to work on this bed this weekend. It's kind of a mess. I pulled my garlic and I put that in my greenhouse to kind of dry out for a couple of days. And this Swiss chard actually needs to come up. It's just very close to going to seed. So I'm going to work on that this weekend. These are a couple different kinds of onions. I've got some red and some white onions. This is a dahlia that's coming up over in the corner of my garden. And this was a little miniature rose bush that my mom gave me for, it was either Mother's Day or my birthday when we first moved into this house. And you can see how big it's gotten. So I'm going to be picking some of those. I've got some chives. These two beds need some attention. This is real life. Unfortunately, I do have some beautiful gladiolas that are going to be coming up. But I need to work on getting some of this bed cleaned up. I've got more basil. I've got some additional basil and cilantro and different things growing in my tower. And I've got lots of these little alpine strawberries that are growing. Get that pill bug off of there. But my grandkids love to come out here every day and look for strawberries and pick them and eat them. They're very small, but they love it. Look at those, they're so cute. So that's it. Again, more chamomile. I'm going to be picking that this weekend. I picked a ton of this and dehydrated it probably a month ago, and it's all grown back. I didn't pull out the stems. I just cut back the flowers, and you can see they just keep growing. They're like weeds. So that's my garden. It's mid-June right now, and everything is very close to producing. And like I said, I'll be working on these two beds this weekend. Try to get them kind of cleaned up a little bit and maybe pull a few things out. Just get them looking a little bit nicer. Thanks for joining me today. Please consider subscribing. Have a good day. Bye-bye.